He's still in India. He has come to Singapore just for them. I think we should have a loud Haribol for them.
Haribol!
When Advaita Prabhu told me about this, we discussed that this is actually devotee care. We have a lot of plans, a lot of meetings about devotee care. But Prabhu, with his one action, is actually showing us what devotee care is all about. He doesn't need to be here. He's already preached to them. But for him to come across the oceans, to come here, be with them, and continue inspiring them, I think we need 3 loud Haribols for Prabhu.
Haribol! Haribol! Haribol!
Without further ado, I will hand off the mic to Prabhu to take the class on Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Radha Mava Kunja Vihari Kunja Vihari स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद जय। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंसोच्चार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद जय। रामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर जय। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत श्री वासदि गौर भक्तवृंद जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंद और गुरु संगम जय। और गुरु संगम जय। और गुरु संगम जय। और गुरु श्री श्री गुरु एंड गौरंग श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव जय। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलां श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगणललिता श्रीशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिधि नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, text 21. Adityanam aham Vishnu.
Adityanam aham Vishnu.
Adityanam aham Vishnu.
Adityanam aham Vishnu.
Jyotisam Raviransuman.
Jyotisam Raviransuman.
Jyotisam Raviransuman.
Jyotisam Raviransuman.
Marichir Marutam-asmi.
Marichir Marutam-asmi.
Marichir Marutam-asmi.
Marichir Marutam-asmi.
Nakshatranam aham shashi.
Nakshatranam aham shashi.
Nakshatranam aham shashi.
Nakshatranam aham shashi.
Adityanam aham Vishnu.
Adityanam aham Vishnu.
Jyotisam Raviransuman.
Jyotisam Raviransuman.
Marichir Marutam-asmi.
Marichir Marutam-asmi.
Nakshatranam aham shashi.
Nakshatranam aham shashi.
Adityanam aham Vishnu.
Adityanam aham Vishnu.
Jyotisam Raviransuman.
Jyotisam Raviransuman.
Marichir Marutam-asmi.
Marichir Marutam-asmi.
Nakshatranam aham shashi.
Nakshatranam aham shashi.
Adityanam aham Vishnu.
Adityanam aham Vishnu.
Jyotisam Raviransuman.
Jyotisam Raviransuman.
Marichir Marutam-asmi.
Marichir Marutam-asmi.
Nakshatranam aham shashi.
Nakshatranam aham shashi.
Adityanam aham Vishnu.
Adityanam aham Vishnu.
Jyotisam Raviransuman.
Jyotisam Raviransuman.
Marichir Marutam-asmi.
Marichir Marutam-asmi.
Nakshatranam aham shashi.
Nakshatranam aham shashi.
आदित्यानामहं विष्णुः
Adityanam aham Vishnu.
ईशां रविरंशु
ज्योतिषां रविरंशुमान्
मरुतामस्मि
मरीचिर्मरुतामस्मि
नक्षत्राणामहं शशि
नक्षत्राणामहं शशि
आदित्यानाम् अहं विष्णु
आदित्यानामहं विष्णु
ज्योतिषां रविरंशुमान्
ज्योतिषां रविरंशुमान्
मरीचिर्मरुतम् अस्मि
मरीचिर्मरुतामस्मि
नक्षत्राणाम् अहं शशि
नक्षत्राणामहं शशि
आदित्यानाम् अहं विष्णु
आदित्यानामहं विष्णु
ज्योतिषां रविरंशुमान्
ज्योतिषां रविरंशुमान्
मरीचिर्मरुतामस्मि
मरीचिर्मरुतामस्मि
नक्षत्राणामहं शशि
नक्षत्राणामहं शशि
आदित्यानामहं विष्णु
आदित्यानामहं विष्णु
ज्योतिषां रविरंशुमान्
ज्योतिषां रविरंशुमान्
मरीचिर्मरुतामस्मि
मरीचिर्मरुतामस्मि
नक्षत्राणामहं शशि
नक्षत्राणामहं शशि
आदित्यानामहं विष्णु
आदित्यानामहं विष्णु
ज्योतिषां रविरंशुमान्
ज्योतिषां रविरंशुमान्
मरीचिर्मरुतामस्मि
मरीचिर्मरुतामस्मि
नक्षत्राणामहं शशि
नक्षत्राणामहं शशि
Word by word meaning. Adityanam.
आदित्यानाम्
Of the Adityas.
Adityas.
Aham.
Aham.
I am.
I am
Vishnu.
Vishnu,
The Supreme Lord.
the Supreme Lord,
Jyotisham.
Jyotisham,
Of all luminaries.
of all luminaries,
Ravi.
Ravi,
The sun.
the sun,
Anshuman.
Anshuman,
Radiant.
radiant,
Marichi.
Marichi,
Marichi.
Marichi,
Marutam.
Marutam,
Of the Maruts.
of the Maruts,
Asmi.
Asmi,
I am.
I am,
Nakshatrana.
Nakshatranam,
Of the stars.
of the stars,
Aham.
Aham,
I
I
am.
am,
Shashi.
Shashi,
The moon.
the moon,
Of the Adityas, translation purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, Vijay. Of the Adityas, I am Vishnu. Of lights, I am the radiant sun. Of the Maruts, I am Marichi. And among the stars, I am the moon. Purport. The 12 Adityas, of which Krishna is the principal. Among all the luminaries twinkling in the sky, the sun is the chief. And in the Dham Samhita, the sun is accepted as the glowing eye of the Supreme Lord. There are 50 varieties of wind blowing in the space. And of those winds, the controlling deity, Marichi, represents Krishna. Among the stars, the moon is the most prominent at night. And thus the moon represents Krishna. It appears from this verse that the moon is one of the stars. Therefore, the stars that twinkle in the sky also reflect the light of the sun. The theory that there are many suns within the universe is not accepted by the Vedic literature. The sun is one, and as by the reflection of the sun, the moon illuminates, so also do the stars. Since Bhagavad Gita indicates here that the moon is one of the stars, the twinkling stars are not suns, but are similar to the moon. So, this chapter 10, as we have all must have heard many things, that there are 3 divisions of Bhagavad Gita. The first 6 chapters, the middle 6 chapters, and the last 6 chapters. The front and the back 6 chapters each is considered as the cover of the Bhagavad Gita. And the middle 6 chapters are the ones which contain the essence. when we say cover, doesn't mean it is not important. The cover is very important. The cover of a book is very important to protect the pages, to content inside. So idea in the middle 6 chapters, they tell us about the core principle of pure devotional service. And the front 6 chapters and last 6 chapters, they point us to that. They bring us to that. The description of the pure devotional service to Krishna is broadly discussed in the middle 6 chapters. The middle 6 chapters, they don't have topics of karma, jnana, yoga, etc. The second chapter, Krishna discusses the jnana, etc. In third and fifth chapter, discuss the tam yoga. In fourth also, jnana, yajna, and the sixth, yoga. And then in 13th chapter, 14th chapter, like that. They are also part of the jnana. It's not that bhakti is not there. That is how the sense of karma yoga is bhakti. How a sense of jnana yoga is bhakti. How a sense of yoga practice is bhakti. So it's all about bhakti only. But the middle 6 chapters, they contain the description of the bhakti, the pure devotional service to Krishna. And 10th chapter particularly, which we are discussing, is named the opulence of the absolute. Aishwarya, in Sanskrit we say Aishwarya Jnana, the opulence of the absolute. Because the more and more we are convinced of Krishna's opulence, the more naturally our heart will go towards Him. That is the purpose of the entire study of the 10th chapter. Srila Prabhupada said this in the 10th chapter, 7th verse. The highest summit of spiritual perfection is knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Unless one is firmly convinced of the different opulence of the Supreme Lord, he cannot engage in devotional service. Generally, people know that God is great, but they do not know in detail how great God is. Here are the details. So Prabhupada talks about the 10th chapter. What is this 10th chapter? The 10th chapter is discussing the details about Krishna's opulence. Actually, Krishna has completed the 9th chapter by saying that absorb your mind in me. Nanmanabhav. Always think of me. Mat bhakto, become my devotee. Nadhyaji, worship me. And then Krishna said, Ma namastu. If you do these 4 things, you'll surely come to me. Absorb your mind in me, become my devotee, worship me, offer your obeisances, homage to me. Of all these 4, the most important part is manmana, to think of Krishna. If while worshipping I am not thinking of Krishna, if while paying obeisances I am not thinking of Krishna, if I am while giving this class I am not thinking of Krishna, I am thinking what gifts people have got from me. So then that is not bhakti. The most important principle is to think of Krishna, manmana. Very commonly we sing this song, Bhaja Hum Re Mana, Shri Nandanandan, Abhay Chandanandade. Prabhupada says in that song, meaning that in any yoga practice, the most important thing is to control the mind. To take the mind to Krishna. So, 4 things Krishna said. Think of me, become my devotee. Devotee means don't render service to Krishna. Render service to me, worship me, offer your obeisances to me. The essence of this is to think of Krishna. Narmana. And then the 10th chapter, there is no question by Arjuna. Arjuna don't ask anything. Krishna himself has continued. Many times you will see in the Bhagavad Gita, that chapter ends, Arjuna has asked a question. Or you can say Vyasadeva has divided the Bhagavad Gita in such a way that wherever Arjuna has asked the question is broken the chapter there. Third chapter beginning, Arjuna is asking. The fifth chapter beginning, Arjuna is asking. Sixth chapter beginning, Arjuna has not asked. Sixth chapter last, Krishna, Arjuna has spoken something. So 7 begins like that. And in the fourth also, Krishna begins himself, but then very soon Arjuna asks something. So, but in the 10th chapter, Krishna himself has continued. After saying, absorb your mind in me, Krishna himself continued. That means now he was going to explain how to absorb your mind in me. That's what how the Acharyas explain. The 10th chapter is how to think of Krishna. So Krishna himself continued. And he said to Arjuna that now I will give you knowledge which is better than what I have spoken till now. How is it better? 9th chapter itself is the 9th chapter 34th verse itself is the essence verse. Then why 10th chapter 1st verse Krishna says that I am giving knowledge which is better? All of us know 9th chapter 34th verse, last verse of 9th chapter is the essence verse. Only verse that Krishna repeats just before saying surrender to me. In my 10th chapter beginning he says that I am going to speak something better. What better? Better is he is going to explain how to think of me. How to think of me. In that sense better. It's an explanation of 9th chapter. It's not something new. New topic has not begun. It's just an explanation of the last verse of the 9th chapter. Always think of me, and then it comes how to think of Krishna. So Krishna began describing his opulences in the very beginning of the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. And then he also, Krishna spoke of how the great personalities like Saptarishis, four Kumaras, Prajapatis, they have come from him. How all the qualities like intelligence, etc., buddhi, jnana, asmoha, all this come from him. And then Krishna also spoke the 4 verses of Bhagavad Gita, the essential verses of Bhagavad Gita, 8, 9, 10, and 11 verses of the 10th chapter. Most of you know those 4 verses. It's called Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna heard all this. And then, after hearing all this, Arjuna says to Krishna that I fully accept whatever you say. Whatever you said, I fully accept it. Sarvamekadritam Mande. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Not only you are saying this, all great sages have said this. I fully accept whatever you say. So the Acharyas have explained that in one sense, Bhagavad is completed. Because Arjuna always says, I fully accept whatever you say. Krishna always says, fight. But still Arjuna didn't stand up to fight. Because he said to Krishna that I want to know about your opulences in more detail. Already Krishna gave little detail. That he gave on his own. That much detail he gave on his own. After saying, think of me, Krishna gave some details how to think of me. But then Arjuna said, Keshu Keshu Tribhavishu. In whatever ways I can remember you, please tell me in more detail. So, one thing we can surely say here is, when there is an inquisitive devotee who wants to know more detail, he wants to hear about Krishna in more detail, then you can surely get more details from Krishna. If Arjuna didn't ask this question, then Bhagavad would have ended there. But Arjuna was interested in more details. But he was not interested in more details just for sake of more information. He said, Keshu Keshu Bhavishu Tvam Parichintam. Please explain to me in more detail how I can think of you. So that Krishna now, this section which is we are going through now, this verse 21st verse onwards, 20th verse onwards from the previous verse. Krishna is explaining his opulences in detail. I don't want to know in detail, because when we know in detail, then you can remember Krishna more deeply. And also Prabhupada says, the more you are convinced of the opulence of Krishna, the more your mind will go there. Because as we live in this world, we naturally face many situations. So let's say a very simple example would be that when we are sick, our mind immediately goes to doctor. Because they are convinced of the powers of doctor to cure disease. We are convinced that that person has the power to understand the professionally trained, to understand my health situation and address it. Why the mind is going there? Because we have known that place. Similarly, some theft happens, then you go to police. They have the ability to handle the situation. Isn't it? It's very simple. The more the conviction is, the more you have that faith. So similarly, the more one is convinced of the powers of Krishna, opulence of Krishna, the more the mind will naturally go there. In the beginning, the mind is not so convinced. So even when we chant Hare Krishna, the mind doesn't go to Krishna. Got to talk of other things. When chanting Hare Krishna, also mind runs on something else. So the more we are convinced of Krishna's opulences, the more the mind will naturally go there. So that part Krishna wanted to do. Many times we have heard this, the Aishwarya and the Madhurya. Krishna's opulences and Krishna's sweetness. The two parts of the Lord, as we would say, particularly in Vrindavan, Krishna's sweetness is manifested. In Dwarka, Krishna's opulences are manifested more. Aishwarya. But here is explained that the more we are convinced of the Aishwarya, opulence of Krishna, the more we can understand the sweetness of Krishna. Directly, if we try to present the sweetness of Krishna, then it becomes like Sahajya. You know Sahajya? Sahajya is, they show that as if they love Krishna or God very much, but don't follow the principles. It becomes sentimental. I remember when I was in my hostel days, college days, I had a roommate and he would ask me that on one hand, your philosophy of Krishna consciousness is so very deep that practically no one can defeat you people in this philosophy. Because many of my friends tried to defeat me. And I was very new in those days. And they were not going to defeat me. So they would conclude that, it's impossible to defeat them. He said, on one hand, your philosophy is so very deep that no one can defeat you with arguments. On the other hand, your meditation is one small child is running and the mother running behind. This is what you people meditate on. Very difficult to put two pieces together. He could not understand it throughout the 4 years of our That's what he was referring to. A mother is running, a child is running, mother is running behind. This happens in every home, he said. Are you prepared to meditate on that? So the sweetness of Krishna cannot be understood unless you have understood the Aishwarya of Krishna. Now you understand? Namamishwaram Satchidananda Rupa. So that's what Krishna is talking about here. So he is speaking about his vibhutis, particularly in this section. This is also called Vibhuti Yogam, connecting with Krishna through his Vibhutis. Vibhutis are Krishna's manifestation of Krishna's powers in the material world. Krishna has unlimited powers, and when those unlimited powers, which are inconceivable by human calculation, when they manifest in an extraordinary way in the material world, they are called as vibhutis. That's the word vibhuti. Wherever there is extraordinary manifestation, entire creation is Krishna's power only. It's a manifestation of Krishna's power. Yasya Krishvasas kalam tham जीवन की नौ विधा जगदंडना था विष्णु महान सही से कला विशेषु गोविंद आदि पुरुषों प्रभाव बचाने जिससे एक विश्वासित काल only one breath of Lord Mahavishnu, that entire creation comes and goes. So, and that Mahavishnu is only a portion of Krishna. Vishnu Mahan Sahi se Kala Visheshu. Kala means portion of the portion. Ansha is called portion of the portion. So, entire creation is manifestation of Krishna's energy only. But when that energy manifests in a particular way, in an extraordinary way, in a particular place, it is called Vibhuti. So, Krishna is speaking what is Vibhutis here. Although language Krishna say, I am the sun, I am the moon, one should not think that this is like impersonalist conclusion, that everything is God. Here, Krishna is speaking what is opulences. And because there is simultaneous oneness and difference of the energy and energetic, it is used I am sun. Sun is the manifestation of Krishna's power in an extraordinary way. Wherever you see light, it is manifestation of Krishna's power only. But of all the lights, sources of light, sun stands as the extraordinarily powerful. Therefore, sun is called Vibhuti. And Krishna said, I am the sun. And the sun means this is my energy. One should conclude that this is in an impersonal way, that everything is equal to God. No one can be equal to God. None of his energies can be equal to Krishna. They are all dependent on him. Just like sunlight and sun. Sunlight is also sun, but it's not complete sun. A photon of sun, सूर्य की किरण का एक कण जो है, the photon of the sun, a particle of sun rays, is also sun. But it's sun only in a minute quantity. So similarly, the vibhutis are not equal to Krishna, but they manifest Krishna's powers. And if you can understand those vibhutis' powers, then you can understand how great Krishna is. That is what the vibhutis word mean. So here Krishna is counting 4. We'll come to those specific 4. Adityanam aham Vishnu. For the Adityas, I am the Vishnu. Some of the vibhutis are also the avatars. Some of the avatars, the incarnations, are counted among vibhutis. Because they also manifest Krishna's extraordinary powers. Or Krishna's powers in an extraordinary way. So, here the Vishnu particularly refers to, who knows, who remembers? Vaman. This is particularly referring to Vaman. Adityanam aham Vishnu. So Adityanam means sons of Aditi. So all of us know the story that the Aditi and Diti are the two brothers, and they were married to Kardamuni. Both sisters were married to Kardamuni. Not Kashyap Muni. Kashyap Muni. So Kashyap Muni, Aditi, from Aditi, demigods were born. Adityas were born. Therefore, demigods are called the 12 prominent demigods from the 33 book. Are Adityas, sons of Aditi. And from the Diti, Hinyash and Hiranyakashipu came. And they got the name Daityas. Not all Daityas are demons. All the many times this word is used as synonym. Prahlad Maharaj is also Daitya. And later on Krishna is going to say, among Daityas, I am Prahlad, son of Diti. So, but the first two were surely demoniac. So, Aditi, she begot sons, Surya, Indra, Chandra. These are all sons of Aditi. 12 prominent demigods. They are the sons of Aditi. So, what had happened was, later on in the line of Diti, Hinyash and Hiranyakashipu were killed by the Lord. Prahlad Maharaj is transcendental. And Prahlad Maharaj's son had a son named Virochan. Virochan's son was Bali Maharaj. So Bali Maharaj, he conquered the kingdom of heaven. And demigods had no place to live. Because the sons of Diti and Aditi, they all have some rivalry. So they are brothers, but still they have. And Bali Maharaj, although he is a pure devotee, but he was guided by Shukracharya, the family priest. And the family priest, his guidance was all materialistic. So Bali Maharaj, he conquered the kingdom of heaven. And the sons of Aditi, they had no place. Not only to live, but also to do their duties properly. Because to do your duties properly, you need a place. You need an office. Office is also taken, home is also taken. So there was quite disturbance in the universe. So at that time, Aditi, she went to her husband and told that please tell me a solution to it. So Kashyap Muni told that the only solution is go to Lord Narayana, go to Krishna. And he told her a particular kind of austerities to perform, Pevavrata, by which the Lord Vishnu can be pleased. So Lord was pleased and Aditi wanted the Lord to find out a solution to this. And the Lord decided that he will come as the son of Aditi. So therefore Krishna or Vaman Dev is also called Aditya, the son of Aditi. So he appeared as Vaman Dev, and on the very first day only of his appearance, he didn't appear like a small baby. Vaman Dev didn't have childhood pastimes. He just appeared as dwarf Brahmana. Very first day was dwarf Brahmana, and very soon he left for the sacrifice of Bali Maharaj. Lord, at that time demigods also prayed to the Lord to find a solution. Lord told the demigods that the situation of your situation is very weak. Because it had happened also that demigods disrespected their guru. The story is very long. But Bali Maharaj, even though his guru was not spiritually well, his materialistic guru, still they respected him. So there is great merit in following the guru. So the Lord told the demigods that the demons are more powerful position right now. Because they have followed their guru, you cannot follow your guru. The only way you can get the kingdom back, if I induce Bali Maharaj to disobey his guru. So that's the way the Lord came. Chalaya Sivikram Mane Bali Madhubudhavana. So Lord came as Dwap Brahmana. He went to Bali Maharaj. He asked for Bali Maharaj. The story is very long, short of telling. So Bali Maharaj wanted to offer some charity, and Lord Vamandev, he said, I just need 3 steps of land. That's second cheating. First is he wants to induce him to disobey his Guru. Second is he said that I want the 3 steps of land. Small. But he said, I will measure by my steps. I will take 3 steps of land by the measurement of my steps. So Bali Maharaj was about to promise, and I will give you the 3 steps of land. And at that time, Shukracharya came and started saying, that you fool! You are thinking this is a small Brahmana. He is not Vishnu himself. No one else would identify. Shukracharya identified. Although materialistic Guru. And he said that in 2 steps he will measure the entire universe. There is no place to give a 3rd step. When you have to be, anyway you cannot fulfill this promise. First of all, you have not made the promise yet. And you cannot fulfill this promise. Because in 3 steps of that you cannot give him. You will measure the entire universe in 2 steps. So you don't. The Prabhupada explained that Shukracharya was also concerned that Bali Maharaj gives everything to Krishna. Then from where his salary will come? His donations will stop. Because of materialistic Guru. And because the Guru was saying, do not serve Krishna. Bali Maharaj decided to disobey him. So, of course, here the example is Shukracharya is a materialistic Guru. So by disobeying the materialistic Guru, he will lose all materialistic opulence. Bali Maharaj. If you disrespect spiritual personalities, then you lose all spiritual. So, Vamandev, Bali Maharaj said to Bali Maharaj paused for some time because he was very grateful to Shukracharya for all the teachings he has given and all the guidance. But at the same time, Bali Maharaj pondered over for some time and decided that this guidance was not right. And he very respectfully told his teacher, Shukracharya, but I cannot follow this. And he's also given the logic that if you say this is Vishnu, anyway, everything belongs to him. Everything must be offered to him. And even if I don't give, he will take. So your logic is not fitting. So he told Shukracharya, I am not going to obey. And Bali Maharaj promised. And as soon as Bali Maharaj promised, the Lord Vamandev manifested the form which is known as Trivikrama. The Trivikrama form is 3 huge steps. So in one step we measure the entire world planetary systems. In the upper, the step which went up, we measure the entire upper planetary system. It is explained that the ankle monies, the jewels on the bell of the ankle bell of Lord Vamandev, each one money was the size of Mount Meru, which is estimated in Bhagavad to be 672,000 miles. So this is Vamandev. So now you understand who Krishna is. So by understanding the opulence of Krishna, your mind will go to Krishna. We all want to see something very wonderful. People go to see Olympics match. Why? Someone is going to jump high. How high? Long jump, high jump, fast running. So, but if you see, look at Krishna, is the most wonderful personality, Adbhuta. So, Chalaya Sivikra Mane Balu, Adbhuta Vaman. I want to see some wonder. The most wonderful is Krishna. In the Krishna book, Prabhupada entitled one chapter, Adbhuta Krishna. Everything about Krishna is Adbhut. His teachings are Adbhut. Bhagavad Gita. You can go on studying for whole life, and you can find newer and newer tastes. His name is Adbhut. Same Hare Krishna mantra. We will go on chanting, never getting bored, never getting tired, never getting old. The holy name never is always fresh. So like that, it is all Adbhuta. So Vamandev, he measured in 2 steps, and then the third step. So in 2 steps, he measured the whole thing. And we have to give the third step. This is very interesting. He is not called Dvivikrama. Because in the terms of size, 2 steps were very huge. But the third step, he asked Bali Maharaj to give the third step. Bali Maharaj told to give the third step, third foot on his step on his head. But still it is called Trivikrama. Vikrama means huge steps. V means huge, and Krama means step. It's called Trivikrama. In fact, you can the third step is the hugest step. And the third step is the most pleasing step to Krishna. He protects his devotees. He loves his devotees. He is called Bhaktavatsala. So in that Trivikrama form, the Lord Vamandev, you can say it was like a universal form. And he kept the third step on the head of Bali Maharaj. So, three Vikrama, 3 huge steps. So, if you think of the Vamandeva's pastimes, or you think of any Adityas, of course, in the Vedic times, people knew all these Adityas and all that, and knew how what are the respective functions. Nowadays, we are not so much aware. We still know, but we are not so aware. But anyone who is from Vedic culture, they know the role of the Adityas in maintaining the universe and also our bodies. The demigods, they have to maintain our bodies. For example, the demigod of fire has to maintain the digestion. If the fire goes upside down, then the whole digestive system is spoiled. So, if you think of the powers of these demigods, then you will be convinced of the power of Krishna. The second one is just speaking that only. Ravi Ranshuma, Jyotisham, Ravi Ranshuma. I am the sun among all the luminaries. So light, very, very important. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, the ladies of Dwarka, the residents of Dwarka, in their prayers, they took one analogy. They said to Krishna that when you go to Hastinapur, our eyes are like eyes without sun. Ravi Vinakshanu. They said whole Dwarka looks like that. How? The analogy they took Ravi Vinakshanu. Without the sun, eyes. Beautiful eyes. Very beautiful eyes someone may have, but it's all dark. How dependent we are on the light. Simply, if we see the part of the vision, if we think of the other aspects of sunlight, entire food comes from sunlight. If the sunlight is not there, there is no photosynthesis, there is no production of food, even for non-vegetarian people, because they may eat meat, but the animal or the bird has to eat grains. All food is produced from the earth by sunlight. There is no survival. If sunlight stops, no species will be able to survive. So that's the power of sun. And what does sun do for this? The sun simply rises. It's just there. Simply being there, the sun is maintaining the entire life on the planet. It's not that sun is to work very hard. Earth is there. Earth is also not working very hard. Some rains are good, water is good, sunlight and earth together, beautiful grains will have a Mahaprasada. It's all produced by sunlight. Without sun, there are no grains. So similarly, if you look at other aspects of sunlight, you will be convinced of it. And this sun is a partial manifestation of Krishna's opulence. So we will understand our dependence on Krishna. We will understand His inconceivable, unlimited powers. And as we understand these aspects, naturally the mind will go to Krishna. So, Jyotisham, Raviransham, and of course the tube lights and all that, these are all indirectly sunlight only. So it's not that this was not known to the in Vedic times to people. At least Krishna knew. Of all the luminaries, I am sun. Maybe ghee lamp or candle, wax lamp or this lamp, whatever light, anywhere if there is light, it is because of sun. So, those who know from the third canto Bhagavatam and fifth canto Bhagavatam, the creation, they know when Lord Brahma is created, it's all dark, and then the sun is the source of light. Prabhupada talks about it. Jachurech Savita Sagalahana. It's not the earth planet. In all the planets, in the demigods planets, the light is sustained by the sun. So therefore, it's called Jachurech Savita Sakat Savita. Savita means maintainer. Those who do Gayatri, they know there also the word Savitul comes. It means maintainer. Krishna is the ultimate maintainer, but here Krishna has manifested as maintainer through the sun. Okay? So the more we think of the sun, the more we can be convinced that sun we have to deal with every day. If we become convinced of a concept, 24 hours will become Krishna conscious. Actually, one thing can convince us to become 24 hours Krishna conscious. Just one thing, sun, is sufficient. That third one Krishna says in this verse, Marutam. Among the Marutas is the wind blowing. So there are different kinds of winds, Prabhupada says 50. 10 of them are in the body itself. 10 kinds of winds in the body. The wind which maintains direction, the wind which passes down, the wind that 10 like that. In the third canto Bhagavatam, that is also explained. I don't remember all those. And those Ayurvedic doctors, they deal with that practically every day. Their diagnosis of the disease will surely include study of these winds. They do it by reading the nerves, the pulse. So there are different kinds of winds blowing, and they are not just the winds which experience in this planet. There are subtler winds also, by which maintains the universal bodies in their place. Just like in this body also, the different organs are at their own place, and things are at their own place. Like very simple example I will give is recently, not recently, 2-3 years back, I had some medical condition. So I was talking to some doctor. I spoke to both allopathy and Ayurveda. Diagnosis was similar, aspects were similar. So that time we came to know there is a diaphragm here in our food pipe and the wind pipe. And this diaphragm is always vibrating like this. When we breathe in, it opens the wind pipe. When we take food, it opens the same. None of us are aware of this. And even after becoming aware of this, you cannot really become aware of this. When I'm eating food, I have to open the food pipe. Now I'm breathing, I have to open the wind pipe. Rather, if you try to do it opposite, try to do it consciously, it will go opposite. Just let it happen. And all these movements are maintained by these winds, the subtle and the gross winds, the subtle and the universal winds. Just like that is maintained. Similarly, the universal bodies are maintained in their own places. And of all the Marutas, Marichi is one of the demigods. He heads all of them. So the wind is also very important. If the wind doesn't blow, after washing our clothes, also not dry also. They are fully dependent on it. Breathing. It's a natural function going on. Only when we do pranayama, maybe we do it consciously. But that's the time. If wind stops, nothing can be done. And whether on a subtle level or a bigger level. And the last one, in this one, Krishna says this, I am the moon among all the stars, nakshatras. Nakshatras are the constellations of the stars in the sky. And moon is considered the chief of them. Also, because in the night, Ekotra Chandra Tamohanti, Nachatara Sahasrasha, thousands of stars cannot remove the darkness, but one moon is sufficient to remove the darkness. That's one reason. Other reason is also of all the stars in those who study astrology, astronomy, etc. So the stars have influence on our birth chart and all those things. We don't involve too much into that because we just surrender to Krishna. And once you surrender to Krishna, all demigods, they support your bhakti. So you don't have to worry about those things. But not everyone surrenders to Krishna. So in the astrology, they study the stars. So in the astrological chart, whichever house the moon is in, that star's influence is maximum. Like that they study. So for someone they say for you, Mangal Graha is heavy. How they say moon is in the, during the birth time, moon is in. So moon is the most important of all the stars. So Prabhupada says the moon reflects the light of the sun. And from Bhagavad Gita we know the stars also reflect the light of the sun. Modern scientific theory is slightly different. They believe that there are independent sources of light. But from Bhagavad Gita this is the way it is understood. And the moon is also very important for the vegetation. The taste in the food comes from the moon. And moon also has a lot of influence on the planet, like the higher tides and lower tides in the ocean are caused by the moon. During the Purnima, full moon time, the waves are higher. These are all required for the maintenance. It's not just random. These are all required for the healthy maintenance of the planet so that it can support life and also the purpose of life to go back to Godhead. So the moon is also very important. So think of moon. Next time you think of taste. If you eat nice paneer sabji, how did it? Taste is those masalas come. Or you eat nice, whatever, shark, a green vegetable. From where the taste comes? The taste came from the moon. So in this way we can always remember Krishna. Arjuna asked how to remember you all the time. So Krishna giving some hints. And after speaking the entire thing, Krishna will say, this is only a synopsis. Now you learn the synopsis and expand. It's not entire exhaustive list. And he said, in fact, entire creation is situated in one spark of my spirit. And the sun, moon, wind, etc. spark of the star. So therefore they are not equal to Krishna. But they do help us to remember Krishna all the time. Because we are all the time dealing with them. So anyone who studies this chapter can become 24-hour Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna. I hope I didn't bore you and didn't speak anything wrong. If there are any questions or anything you would like to add or other fellows would like, Mataji would like to add.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for the wonderful session. Actually, I had a question earlier, but I got the answer just now. How to remember Krishna 24 hours? So I think you gave a very simple answer that through his vibhuti, I think we can remember him 24 hours. Thank you so much for it.
Thank you. Anything else?
Prabhuji. Prabhuji, who controls the wind? I'm asking because in the Dhruv Maharaj Leela, he was able to stop the wind attacking the universe. So who actually controls the?
The controlling deity, just like for rain in Indra, the controlling deity for winds is Marichi. This personality only. Of all the Maruts, means flow of winds, Marichi is the controller. So in Dhruva's last time what had happened was that Dhruva was holding the Lord's form in his heart. And when he stopped breathing, Lord Vishnu stopped breathing. So therefore, entire wind stopped. That is Lord's Leela of glorifying Dhruva Maharaj. Because ultimately, matter cannot do anything on its own. Only when the life is behind the matter functions. And the supreme life is Lord Krishna himself, or his expansion in terms of Shiva Vishnu or Mahavishnu, that is in the previous verse. So that's how it did. The Lord stopped. The Lord was in his heart. And then because Krishna now withdrew, Marichi cannot do anything. Because he is only deputed. It's like you are deputed to act as a ambassador of the country. But as long as the government has empowered you, your signature has power. The moment government removes, same signature you can keep on writing in your home, but you don't have. So ultimate source of power is Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Bhai Koti Vaishnav ki jai, Hare Krishna.
Jai.
So Hare Krishna Prabhu's Mataji's. We're very grateful to Prabhu today for taking the class. Prabhu, you did for us. I think he covered a very fundamental aspect of devotional service, which is actually to remember Krishna. At the end of the day, we have all this infrastructure, all this paraphernalia, so many words that we use. But at the end of the day, he said we have to remember Krishna. And I think Prabhu has studied, he's actually a certified teacher in our movement. He's completed Bhakti Shastri. And I think this is a great example. I think many of us are taking Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav. I think the outcome of those courses should actually be what Prabhu is doing. Very practically presenting on how we can continue to remember Krishna. He will continue to take the class tomorrow morning, Srimad Bhagavatam class, 7:30 a.m. Shyam Prabhu will be here, and the Prabhus will also be here. So we'll have a good crowd for Bhagavatam. We welcome you to come and hear from Prabhu. If there's nothing else, Prabhu, can we do Guru Arati now? We can all rise for Guru Arati. Hare Krishna. Prala, you are here? Prala?
Namo Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta